Hello and welcome back to my GTNH playthrough. It is Thursday the 29th, and we're back out here in the desert. I was actually going to show calling for this one. This was how I was going to start the episode, but then I realized I was recording without my mic going, so you're actually getting the second take of, of this video. At least I didn't get too far, but yeah, just using the crop synthesizer 7 recipe still. It gets me cosmic neutronium amongst a bunch of other stuff, so it's a pretty good one. It's a bit of an expensive block, but I think it's worth it, mainly for the let's see, if we go here, we get Rich Nequata, Black Plutonium, Nequata, Lutnium, Infinity Catalyst, which I assume I'll start using sooner than later, and Cosmic Neutronium. And then we are still using, then we have the Orbitus Terrae down there to make it bigger. But yeah, head back over to the main base. I'll show what we got done today. See, it's spazzing to load out. But I basically continued right where I left off yesterday. I wanted to get a few things set up last night so that I could get some things done today, especially if I didn't have enough time due to actual work, which is good that I'm decently busy again because it was slow for a while, but obviously I'm not making as much progress during the day. But yeah, where I left off yesterday was I had just crafted the UHV energy hatch, so I immediately crafted 3 more and swapped these guys out. While I was at it, I did set up all the patterns for, if I type in UHV here, energy hatches, dynamos, as well as battery buffers. And then at the same time, I also set up the pattern for small neutronium batteries, which are the UHV tier. This didn't require anything fancy like the last tier of batteries where I needed Dequardia. These ones literally just take neutronium dust, and then the holes themselves just Nequata, Electrum, and then super glue. So really nothing much to go into these, so that was easy to set these guys up. As soon as I got these guys set up, went right into crafting the heavy duty alloy tier 8. As you can see my inventory here, I've got everything for the tier 8 rocket ready. But once I set these up, I did kind of, because I set these up and then threw in and started all the crafts for the tier 8 rocket stuff. And then while I was waiting for it to craft, I came over here, and this is where the bulk of the work was actually done today. You can see I set up these 5, technically 6 advanced assembly lines. One of these is unusable at the moment, but this is my general plan for power distribution for a while until I get access to the wireless hatches, which I think are coming. I don't know too much about them, but I know at some point this will also become outdated. But I do like this setup, especially if I want to speed one of these guys up when I have more power. I can it'll just be a simple swapping a hatch here instead of messing around with AE2 or anything, or P2P networks, etc. So for these guys, these are all essentially the UHV components. The conveyor, piston, robot arm, emitter, sensor, and then the one that's not shown is the field generator. Just because the field generator requires UEV circuits, which I don't have access to yet or haven't set up. If we hop down below, though, I did get these set up. Like I've got the different wires in here for this one. Oh, this long guy, like I said, is the field generator, so it's the longest one, but all these are set up the same. I did change how I set them up a little bit in terms just to try to make it look neater. So before I was like where the dual hatches, had them all at the end. Same with the controllers and the chests. Now I've kind of streamlined a little more to make it easier to walk underneath. And there's not too much to say. They're all set up the same way as before. Again, these are all dedicated, so they're all advanced assembly lines. You can do a universal advanced assembly line, but I figure if I need an item that much where I'm wanting an advanced assembly line, I'll just make a dedicated one for it. In the near future, I would like to set up these for the energy hatches as well. just because I do craft a lot of them, so no, it would be nice to have those set up. And I don't think there's anything too notable with these setups, with the exception and of I did come across my first recipes for the emitter and sensors where I've got multiple foils in a row. So I did set up the forming press to be able to name these guys foil 1 through 4. And then I was thinking about it, after, and I'm kind of curious. I want to set up or maybe mess with the pattern on one of these just to see if it'll work. With the way these guys stocking input buses work, where it technically sees the item always, I'm kind of wondering if I even need to do that, like the naming, or if like since all four buses will see the foil as soon as it's dumped in, like if it'll just power through. I don't know if that'll lead to jams if we're bulk crafting. It feels like it shouldn't, but it might be worth experimenting with me, because if that's the case, that'll just save time setting stuff up. Plus, also, all these items don't need to go through a forming press before making their way here, so that would just speed things up. But yeah, this was the bulk of the work for the day. Like I said, I got all this done while I was waiting for these parts down here to craft. So I figured I would, on camera, because this was going to be a little shorter of an episode, hop down to where I keep my NASA workbench, take the back way in. I've showed it off a couple times, but I don't show it off too often. But this was my old fuel building where I made diesel, and then eventually there's this thing was added to make CBD. As you can see, I even have my old steam, because originally all my diesel up to this mixer for a very long time was my power for everything, because as soon as the first thing I did when I hit MV was craft this mixer so that I could run everything on diesel. I had been up to HV before, and I knew how much better this was than steam, so that was kind of not important at the moment, just kind of a fun fact. And then if we hop over here, this is my chemical building with my big old oversized clean room and my trophy room, which also holds the NASA workbench. So first we gotta unlock the schematic. Got this guy on Pluto. And then from there, see if I can remember the pattern. I've done this enough that I should be able to do it without looking. We'll see though. Oh yeah, these guys up here. These guys all down here. Here. Lander and computer. And boom! Tier 8 rocket. Is there not a quest for Tier 8 rocket? Let's see. Space goals. This would be really weird. No, there is. Weird. Let's throw it. Oh, I forgot I turned my magnet off for summoning the comet. Did that do it? Boom! Tier 8 rocket. So yeah, that's where I'm going to leave off for today. Just kind of for the night and tomorrow, and then potentially the weekend, just depending. I know I'm going to have another busy day at work tomorrow, so I might not make any real progress. My next plan will be to head to the planets that get me the stuff that's required for me to continue forward, which include this seaweed extract. I don't know. Let's see. First one requires T-SETI. So I'll have to go to at least one of the SETI planets, as well as go to the planets where setting up a void miner will make sense and is practical. And then from there, over the weekend, I also want to craft the bees, like the draconium bee, or technically I think it's the Drake bee, just to get mass draconium and never have to worry about that again. So yeah, just depending on how tomorrow goes, I may not have a video. Just a friendly heads up. But if I do end up getting a decent amount done, I will still put one out. I just don't want to put one out and say, hey, I set up some assembly lines and that was it. But my plan tonight is to go off to these planets and see what's up and have fun. And man, this thing is huge. It is also funny that like we started off the week with. Actually, did it start off this week? can't remember if it was the end of last week or beginning of this week, made the tier 7 rocket, but yeah, how quickly we've gotten to the tier 8. There's really not much to the tier 7 stuff. And then in this case, it felt really fast because we don't need any special fuel or anything. So this guy is ready to go as it is. We've got the rocket fuel, just need to essentially make a plan and go from there. I'll say one of my goals for next week is to also set up this integrated ore factory. When I'm looking at here, I know I'll need to make this UEV circuit. So like ultimately my general thought process for next week will be set this stuff up so that I can then make the UEV circuit, make ore processing, because my ores are out of control. If you look at how many ores I have over there, it's ridiculous. I have like stuff in the millions now, just waiting to be processed. And then work towards infinity. And then like ideally I get this around midweek next week and get to here by the end of next week, or is my general goal. We'll see if we can do that. Who knows what random trials and tribulations will be on our way to that point, but that is what I'm working towards. So yeah, either way, I'll leave you there, and I hope everybody has a good night. Thank you for watching, and I will see you potentially tomorrow or Monday if not. Goodbye.